In today's content, we're going to talk about Populous, WALTON, and NEM, right? I never talked about NEM before, but NEM is looking pretty interesting recently, right? So the first one we're going to start with, off with Populous, right? If you've been following me recently, you know how bullish I was on Populous after we got this big sell off to the downside, right? So almost like a 30% spike to the downside. So, and I said like Populous is going to be one of the most bullish coin in March, right? It's going to be recovering very big this month of March. So after I made that video, we went up like almost 20% and got rejected by this area of 100 EMA. I wasn't expecting Populous to spike this much, right? I would expect like a big first rejection from this area of 50 EMA, right? So, but we got a when you take a look at it, we got a three up, right? So if you ignore the big wick, we got a three up, right? And most likely we got a I'm looking for a 3 down, just like I said with XLM, right? But XLM did not come back, retest this low, so I'm expecting also Populous not to come back and retest this low. Most likely we're gonna get a a support right around this area. So you would be looking at like Populous at the most to come back down, retest this area of 3,000 30,000 sats, right? At the most, right, before a spike to the upside. So just to recap about Populous, what I'm expecting, at least for the short term Populous to do, I'm expecting Populous to get into this area of green box. Let's take a look at it, right? I'm expecting Populous to challenge this area of almost like 40,000 let's say 40,000, right? Roughly 40,000 before end of the month, right? Because we got multiple rejection, right? We almost challenged these areas already, so it's not going to be a big deal to go back and challenge these areas. So this upper level of this 100 EMA, right? So it's not going to be a big challenge. All Populous need is a volume. That's all it needs. So after we get a big volume, most likely it's going to be an easy ride to this green box, right? So you would be looking at let's see. You would be looking at 35% move to the upside, right? Let's say we come back and retest this low, we're most likely gonna get a 35%. If not, you're looking at another 30% move to the upside before end of the month, right? So the next coin we're gonna take a look at, before we take a look at WALTON, we're gonna take a look at the RSI, right? The RSI is pretty healthy. If you've been following me when I was talking about XLM, and XLM was completely oversold, right? And I said like XLM will be overbought very soon. XLM is now completely overbought, right? When XLM was right around this area I've been talking about, we're gonna get a big spike to the upside, right? And then make a U-turn and then challenge this area. So I'm looking for Populous, at least for the short term, to let's see, at least for the short term Populous to break this area. Could come back and retest it, but as long as we break it, since we already made a double top, if we break this area, most likely we're not going to come back and retest it. So I'm looking for Populous to completely get overbought, right? At least for the short term, before a pullback to to the oversold region, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at WALTON. When you take a look at WALTON, right, I made the same video, right, between WALTON and WALTON and Populous, right around this area when WALTON was getting a challenge of this area of 50 EMA, right? When you can go back and watch my videos, right? And I said like we're gonna get some sort of challenge, come back. So basically WALTON and Populous, they made the same move. You can see right here, they both challenged the area of 100 EMA, got rejected, but basically Populous is just waiting, right? It cannot do anything right now, no volume. So what I'm expecting from WALTON, right, to get seriously overextended, right? So as long as we break this area of resistance, Walton could go like, let's say it could go like let's see, you would be looking at like another 25% move to the upside, just just about this area of resistance, right? So the market is pretty bullish. So all these coins, they're gonna go back to their let's say November to October high. So and then the only area, the only area of a resistance I can see like some serious rejection is this area, because all of that is just like accumulation. No serious it's not a serious like not a serious resistance, right? It's just accumulation, sideways correction. So but the serious area of resistance I could be like anticipating is just about this area, right? 37,000 sats, right? So so keep an eye on Walton. As soon as Walton break this area, I'm gonna be watching Walton very carefully, right? Very closely. So and when you take a look at the RSI, I said it on my previous video, the RSI is pretty healthy. Basically like 62 is pretty safe. So it's not even like 71, 72. You take a look at XLM is currently like what, 71, 72, and it's almost like 25% up the last 3 days, right? So you can imagine like if a Walton can get to like 74, 75 on the RSI, right? So it's gonna be a pretty interesting. So keep an eye on Walton, right? So the next coin we're gonna be talking about is a NEM, right? When you take a look at NEM is pretty interesting, right? NEM and XLM, they both got the same type of structure, right? When the whole market was like going basically going down versus BTC, NEM was going like up versus BTC, right? When you take a look at it, right around this area. So the whole market was basically bearish and NEM was pretty much bullish, right? So and then we got a big sell-off like starting like the last week of February, just like Tron and XLM and all of them, right? And then completely oversold, right around this area. If you take a look at it, right, we got a completely oversold region. So and I was talking about XLM just like just like when XLM was right around this area, right? So NEM is pretty interesting. So when you go back and then take a look at NEM price action, pretty similar, right? Nice bottom formation, right? Ready to spec to the upside. So got a rejection just about this area of 50 MA. Most likely we're not gonna, I don't think we're gonna come back and retest this area of let's see 1000 about like 1050, right? 1060. I don't think we're gonna come back and retest it, right? We're gonna move sideways for a couple more days before a challenge of this area of 100 EMA. So just if you, I said it like a couple of weeks ago, if you're holding any coins, right, and then they moving below the area of 50 EMA, you don't do anything. Just keep an eye on them, and then they most likely gonna make a very serious extension, right, of an extended price. So just about this area. So I've been saying it the last 30 days, and then if you take a look at Litecoin, let's say Ethereum, BTC about to get overextended. Let's say XLM, Nano, let's see, ICX, WANCHAIN, all of them, right? I've been talking about them since they were like below this area of 50 MA. So keep an eye on them for a 35 to let's say 30 to 35% move to the upside the next 7 days, right? Or at the most next 10 days. So, and then when you take a look at the RSI, pretty healthy. 51 RSI is pretty good, right? You're looking for a 71 to 74 before you're taking before you want to take some profit, right? So you take a look at the RSI, we get a nice pullback. Most likely going to get some challenges just about this area before a serious move to the upside. So just keep an eye on them. We got this area, right? And when you take a look at the RSI, even on the RSI, you're getting like, look at this, inverted head and shoulder, right? You get it right here. So most likely gonna break it and then get into this area, at least for the short term, right? So that's what I'm expecting from them, at least for the short term. them to go like at least 35 to 30% more to the upside, right? So that's about it for today. Let me know what you think down below the comment section. If you think like a NEM gonna go up 35, and then Walton and then Populous is going to be making some serious move very shortly. Also keep an eye on ZILLIQA, NEBLIO, and AION. I made a video recently about ZILLIQA, NEBLIO, and AION. So, all right, thank you for watching.